Dismissed.
Yeah. What's up? What's good? What's happening? Welcome to the King M.E show. I'm one half of this thing, King.
Hey y'all, it's me, Michelle. How y'all doing?
I hope y'all are doing all right. I got to take a pause to make sure that technically we good to go on audio. All right, so give me 1 second. See if we working.
Audio.
Yeah. All right. So
I think there's a little bit of a delay.
oh no. There is a bit of a delay. All right. Well,
In the meantime, while he's working on that, it's fine. So, welcome to Black History Month, which is Black History is U.S. history, and it is a 365, 366 business. But for the month of February, I do like to don a Black History related shirt. Today, I'm wearing the shirt that my man bought me.
yeah.
That says what we learned from Black History Month, and it features some of the greats like Rosa Parks, Frederick Douglass, Nelson Mandela, Louis Armstrong. Like, it features some greats on here. So shout out to King for getting this for me. Also, because it's a new month, it's the first Monday in a new month, we're going to go ahead and flip the handy dandy calendar and take a look at what is up. Okay, apparently not these pages. What is up for the month of February. And again, because I used a new vendor, this is a little bit different. So we get more than one picture on the screen. So this is our pictures for this month. You see that where we're twinning? That's my twin. And it says, our life, power to the people, and our relationship. So there we go. I'm sorry, did I say? Love our life. Goodness gracious. Reading is not my strong today. Love our life, power to the people, and our relationship. Zoom in so that it can identify. There we go. All right. So, 'tis us. It's February 2nd, Groundhog Day. The groundhog did see its shadow today. So, I just need y'all to know. Just need you to know. No matter what the groundhog sees or doesn't see, spring doesn't start for another 46 days. So we still got 6 weeks before spring comes anyway. Because there's 7 days in a week. 7 times 6 is, there you go, it's 42. So we still got 6 more weeks before spring comes anyway. But the superstition comes in that if Puxatawny Phil sees his shadow, then that means we're going to feel said 6 weeks of winter that we have left. So according to him seeing his shadow, we're about to feel what these 6 weeks feel like. We're about to feel this cold. And I guess if you ask our families in the Carolinas, North and South Carolina, because I have family in both, they would tell you that they are definitely feeling this winter as they battle snow right now and everything going on. Here in Maryland, school districts either went back to school today or they didn't go back because of the snowstorm. So like my district, Frederick County, we went back on Friday with a 2-hour delay. We were on time today. Apparently Baltimore City was on time today. Baltimore County was either delayed or closed. Montgomery County, Prince George's County, they were closed today. Some of our counties to the east and to the west of us were either closed or delayed. So we had a lot going on. Like, we're still recuperating. Put it this way. Phil said, y'all fit in the field these next 6 weeks, 46 days until spring. Winter is what you get.
Okay. We're getting feedback that our mics are low and muffed, very low and muffed, but when I heard it, it sounded fine. So
Is
this
it mine or yours?
that's what I wanted to talk to see if it was you, me, or both of us. I had one of our associate producers check, and our associate producer also checked and said all good. So I don't think I could do anything about the video quality. So the video quality is just gonna be what it is. And I think if I press a button, it might jack up the whole
Okay.
stream. So apologies for the video quality. It might be a little bit choppy. I think I know why, and that's something that I'll have to fix later on. But
Okay.
here at the King M.E show, thank you for doing all of that.
You're welcome.
We at the King M.E show attempt to offer a real outlook on a healthy relationship. A
real outlook on a healthy relationship.
Real being relatable,
Entertaining,
accountable,
and loving.
I'm on track. I promise you.
I know, baby.
You know, this is what happens when you a two-man show over here.
Mhm.
Is it? Can you still say two-man and be gender appropriate?
Two-person.
A two-person.
Because I'm a lady.
Didn't ladies come from men biblically?
Yes.
Anyway, I'm not gonna go there. I was about to go there. Today's episode and live stream is entitled "The Love Language of Listening."
Mm-hmm.
Why being heard matters more than being right. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, we are going to sound like broken records on our live stream. Why, you ask? I'm glad you did ask.
We did. Yes. I'm so glad.
Because we talk about the pillars of what makes a relationship break down. And some of those pillars include money, physical intimacy / sex, and communication. Those are like the big three that when you hear about somebody being unhappy or unsatisfied, for the most part, it would typically stem from one of those areas. And people want to talk about the love languages, right? Words of affirmation, gifts, physical touch, or just touch in general. But nobody talks about listening, which in our opinion, listening is the gateway to all of the other love languages.
So you're saying there should be a sixth love language, which is listening.
I wouldn't necessarily say that I would add a sixth. I think that listening is a component of all of them.
Okay.
So I wouldn't make it its own love language itself. I would more talk about it as a component. Our associate producer said, all men are first conceived as women. Just FYI.
Oh, yeah.
What?
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, no. I can't wait. I cannot wait to say this so that someone can try to correct me like they tried to do with the whole Maryland being a southern state thing. So we know that women are XX, men are XY. And we know that you get half of your DNA from your mama, half of your DNA from your daddy. So your mom gives that X automatically, right? And the dad, it's not until like a little last minute that it's decided whether daddy is given an X or whether daddy is given a Y. But essentially, it kind of starts off as an X and then eventually becomes Y.
What? So if I can't say that because we are a G-rated podcast or live stream. So at one point, I had a vagina?
Oh my gosh. The way you just asked it like that. Let me go ahead and get the appropriate term. You go ahead and come to terms with what has been shared. What point? Go ahead, talk. You feel.
All right. We have a couple of people in the comment section, and let's give acknowledgement to them. Shout out to Paul Bennett in the building. Paul is checking on our vertical format, which, Paul, we're streaming on both horizontal and vertical. Appreciate you tuning in on that one. We've got several people tuning into the building. Appreciate them for popping in as well. Shout out to Politically Incorrect. Politically Incorrect IQ is in the building. Said, hey, what's up? Man, give you a salute as well. Mike Braithwaite, I appreciate you popping in, man. I don't know what to say about the audio because we did reach out to several people. They said it sounds excellent. Maybe what you're listening on to might need to be fixed. I don't know. I'm just saying. But I do appreciate you tuning in, however long that you're here. That's great. Did you figure it out, babe? Because I can keep going.
Keep going.
All right. This past weekend, Michelle and I had the opportunity to hang out with some individuals at a surprise birthday party. If you're or birthday celebration, if you will. If you follow us on any of our platforms, you saw us both in the Poconos as probably one of the few black people that was around on them snow mountains. And while the rest of the party that we went with went skiing, because most of them are like from Canada,
Yeah.
which, you know, I guess in Canadian, you're born with, Canada, you're born with skis apparently. They went out there and they was hitting the slopes. I looked at how long that slope was and said, hey, no. I corrected. I got myself. I almost cussed live on air.
All right, so I did the AI overview just to make it really, really simple. Yes, male babies start with the same basic structures as female babies, developing from an undifferentiated or default female-like template. But the presence of a Y chromosome triggers the SRY gene, leading to testes formation and testosterone production, which then develops male sex organs and surpasses the female ones. Without this Y chromosome signal, the embryo naturally develops into a female. The more you know.
Did we learn this in elementary school?
Not in elementary, probably in high school.
Yo.
Mm-hmm.
No, I disagree. I rebuke that.
See, that's the part where you learned it in high school in Alabama.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Alabama high school
That's
education.
the Alabama
baby.
coming out right there.
Roll Tide.
And see, we know the North, the education just a little bit better, and that particular producer is from New York, so education just got like better up there.
I'll give you that one. That was good.
Thank you, baby.
Paul Bennett said, still can't unsee that picture. If you're following me, you saw a picture of me in a Speedo. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh, my goodness. Look, y'all. Look.
Shout out to Time. Time is in the building, said, give it up to the Aquarius.
What? Time's in the building?
Yeah.
Where you been at? You good over there? I ain't seen you in a hot little minute.
All right,
let's go.
Next, let's set the tone for a bit.
I don't even know what I'm doing. Okay, life. Mm-hmm. I'm ready.
You can buy people gifts, right? Like I could get you gifts, you've got me gifts, vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
You can say all the right words.
Yes, you can.
But one of the things, and you are the one that's been big on this, I don't think I've ever known how to express it, but you're like, I need to feel what?
What do I say?
Oh, seen, heard.
Oh, I need to feel seen and heard and appreciated and loved and cherished.
Now, tell me more about what feeling seen encompasses, because although you're saying the word seen,
I mean heard.
You mean heard.
Mm-hmm.
So talk more about why you say that.
I'm the youngest in my family, right? I'm the youngest in my family. I'm the baby. And because there's such a big age gap in between me and my siblings, you would think that naturally meant I got a lot of attention growing up. It was the exact opposite. Like bad things happened to me because there weren't people around. So now when I'm in a relationship, I need to feel like I'm not baby that's being put in the corner and being ignored, but that someone is actually listening to me. Someone is actually paying attention to me. And that makes me feel, I say seen, but I do mean heard.
Okay. Give me a second. Keep going, because I got to fix the ninja chat for some reason.
Sure. So I think maybe that's a part of, the trauma that happened to me when I was younger, but I was left alone for really, really long periods of time. And even after the traumatic experience in my youth, I was still the youngest person in my household. My siblings were 12, 14, 16 years older than me. They were off living their lives. My mom was at work. My dad was out of the picture, gallivanting across California, doing all his dirt and shadiness. And I was in the house by myself. Like, I distinctly remember having chicken pox and being home from school, because obviously you couldn't go to school with chicken pox, but I was sitting at home by myself, taking care of myself because my mom had to work and there was no one else who could take care of me. Like, that's the type of stuff that I went through and I experienced. So I'm used to being alone. But when it comes to being in a relationship, I don't want that. Like, I do want the comforts of having my man that I can go to and share the thoughts. ADHD brain, there's always something going. There's always something that I'm thinking about. There's always some big set of hamster wheels that are turning within my brain, and I would love to be able to share that with someone. So when I say, I want to feel seen, it's like I want you to know that I'm a person and that I'm here. And I made the reference to Dirty Dancing when Patrick Swayze's character said, "No one puts baby in the corner." And that's how I felt a lot of my life. And that's not how I want to feel in a relationship. I just did like 17 mixed metaphors in that joint. I did.
Pause.
What's up, babe?
Why are all these hamster wheels working at the same time?
Because, honey, like, would you rather me go with the tabs? I have like 97 tabs open in my brain right now.
Why?
It's a thing.
Why is it a thing?
I don't know. Like, that's just the way my mind works. I have a whole bunch of things going on at one time. Like, as I'm talking to you and talking to everyone out here, there are like 17 tabs over here that are actively open, actively just populating and doing things right now. All of them just over here.
You got somebody in the chat agreeing with you. So we're going to have one version of our chat up and not the other version. Oh, there it is. It's right there up at the top. Why is it up there?
I don't know.
I just broke a lot of things right before we went live. So let me figure this out.
Well, thank you, Sydney, for agreeing. But yes, there are a lot of things that are always going on in my head. I am always thinking about tomorrow, always 17 steps ahead. And that's like one step for each tab that's open. I'm always thinking, I'm always on the go. Always. Which is why sometimes it's hard for me to answer a question or to think about or to pause or give thought to what someone is asking me, because my mind is in 17 other conversations that are simultaneously happening in my head. That sounded really, really bad. Like I just heard myself say it.
Do I need to be worried?
No, you don't need to be worried. We're good. We're good. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. We're good.
Time said, King, I don't believe there's a lot of women like your queen. I believe we men have to start taking initiative, or when women say what you're saying, essentially.
Look, protect this man at all costs, okay? Protect time, because that is amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Time also said, wow, queen. So people used to say that down south people are slow. Are you saying that the school system is slow too?
Look, I'm going to say it to you this way, Tom. I am not saying that in any way, shape, or form. As an educator, I would not say that. But what I am saying is this. A couple of weeks ago, we talked in a segment about how Maryland was a southern state. And several people came for me in the comments and were like, what kind of educator are you if you think that Maryland is a southern state? And King responded to those people, because I'm just like, what kind of, and this was my thought, I didn't type it anywhere, but I thought, what kind of idiot are you if you don't know where the Mason-Dixon line lies and the fact that Maryland falls under said Mason-Dixon line, making us by definition only a southern state, although culturally we are not a southern state. So I am not saying what you typed in the chat, but what I am saying is this. If you don't think that Maryland is by definition a southern state, one may be exactly what you said in your message. Again, but I'm not saying that.
Okay. All right. Now, I think I've produced and got a lot of things together. I got somebody FaceTiming me that knows that we should be live.
So, well, that person is returning your call. And that person 1,050% should know that we're live stream. Speaking of which, let's talk about all the different channels that we are streaming across. We are streaming across Perry Productions. He is a friend of King's, homeboy from back in Alabama. We shout him out all the time. He is the best videographer this side of the Mason-Dixon line. and the Atlantic Ocean. So make sure you check him out. Again, that's Perry Productions. We're streaming on that channel. We're also streaming on our own platform. So across YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, um, I think LinkedIn, some other things, X, we're on all of them. And we're also streaming across WTF Nation Radio, home of our veterans, where King always gives a salute to them. I don't think it's proper for me to give a salute. So King always gives a salute to them, and we just thank them for our ability to cross stream over there. And then we're also streaming on our most recent partner, Creation Station, which is this art platform and art in every single way. Just basically think of it as visual and performing arts, all the things that you can think of when you think of art, we're streaming on there, because podcasts talking about relationships, that's a form of art. This is a form of art. So we're streaming there as well. We ask that you go check them out. Creation Station, WTF Nation Radio, and Perry Productions. Thank you so much for allowing us to stream across your various channels and to reach more people in this great, big, beautiful world.
I'm going to ask you a very direct question, and then I'm going to ask the viewers.
Sure thing.
Do you feel heard in your relationship? Yes or no?
Yes, I do feel heard in my relationship.
I want y'all listening to really think about that.
Do you feel heard in your relationship?
Yes.
Okay.
I want y'all to think about that in y'all's relationship. I know somebody that I talked to last Wednesday or Thursday who is considering a divorce. And he called me for some feedback. And what he said was this: his wife, great mother, doesn't spend all the money, does all of the things, but they're both mid-40s. And he actually said that I could talk about this, which is funny because it does lead into what we're talking about here. He's expressed to her that he doesn't feel like they have enough physical intimacy. And he's like, King, I'm not asking for every day. I'm not asking for every other day. I'm not asking for 3 to 4 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I am asking for once a week. And it doesn't have to be an all-out, knockdown, drag marathon.
Mm-hmm.
They've got 3 kids and things like that. He's like, I just need something.
Mm-hmm.
He said, the last time that I had any kind of sexual activity with his lady was 10 months ago, of any kind, right? Any kind. He said he's tried to initiate and it's always something. He said, and I've been communicating this with her, not feeling like I'm whining or anything. And then he goes, I've talked to other people about this. I've gone, hey, like, it's been a while. Like, can we at least do this? I've asked her, is everything okay with you? Talk to me. He goes, but anytime she wants to cuddle, oh, it's like, I've got to do it. And I don't do it going, okay, well, if I cuddle her this time, then maybe she'll at least go down there and rub on it a little bit or something. That's how he said it to me. He said, so I'm not doing this for a tit for tat thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that I haven't gotten anything, he goes, I am starting to get to the point to where I'm tired of communicating this with her, because the next thing that I want to do is cheat on her. He goes, and I don't want to do that. He goes, but I am feeling alienated because she's not hearing me. What are your thoughts hearing that?
First of all, like, I think that's sad. I think that's very, very sad. And I say that because one of the beautiful things of marriage is supposed to be that intimacy. And I'm not just referring to intimacy in a sexual way, but that the other forms of intimacy often lead to the sexual intimacy. And if you're not able to have that other type of intimacy, you're also not having that sexual intimacy, it sounds like you just have a roommate. Because what happened? Like, why is there no dialogue? Why is she not sharing what's going on? Why she's not initiating? There's not a marriage coach in the world. There's not a marriage therapist in the world who would say that they're in a healthy relationship. There's something going on, some level of unhappiness that she has not shared. I will say this, and this is not an excuse. This is me saying they do need to have a conversation because something's not right. I do wonder what's her age. Is she going through perimenopause or menopause? Because women do experience a decrease in arousal and how can I keep this PG? A dry it starts to become dry. She starts to become dry around perimenopause and menopause. So it can, for some women, they have expressed that they do feel more pain during sexual intercourse around that menopause time period of their lives because of that dryness and everything. So maybe she's going through that and she hasn't sought any help for it, to which I go back to my original statement. Something's wrong and she needs to get checked out because that's not fair to him at all.
They're both older than I am. I don't know her exact age. I know because he graduated 3 years before I did.
Mm-hmm.
So I know he's about 44, 45. And I think they're close in age. So mid 40s. Let's just make that assumption.
Okay. So probably, again, I'm assuming, I don't know her, probably Perry, or if not, like, depending on her, could be full on. Someone did say something in the comments on WTF Nation Radio. Holly, thank you so much for joining. Holly said 10 months. She mentally divorced him 13 months ago. And I 1000% agree with that comment. When you make the decision to not physically engage with your spouse, there's something going on. And me personally, I feel like that's a betrayal to the vows that you took.
I think, and this is what I told him. I said, bro, it's one of two things. I said, she might be getting it from somewhere else, which let's be real. We talked about being real on this channel. Let's be real. In my first marriage, and I'm going to go here. In my first marriage, I wasn't the one, as I was going through some things physically with my heart diagnosis and medicine and things. I was the one that lost my drive. It wasn't that there was anything nefarious or anything crazy going on. I just lost my drive and couldn't figure it out. So, but I got accused of, oh, he must be getting it from somewhere else. And I think that that is a logical place to go because in a large percentage of the time, that is what it is. I told him, I said, so it's maybe 40%. She's getting those needs taken care of by somebody else. 40%, it could be something medical, hormones, things around that nature. And then the other, what's that with the Alabama education, 40 and 40. The other 20%.
Tom, ask your question again. Go ahead.
The other 20% is she's going through some type of like midlife thing. It's not just hormones. There's other stressors affecting her, and she doesn't know how to properly work through that. I said, but if anything, I said, man, if you're doing what you told me that you're doing, which is communicating and you're asking and you're being there for her, then I said, brother, there's not much else you can do besides, hey, let's go see a counselor. And I'm going to give my take on this. If you've been together for a long time and then you get to the point to where you have to see a counselor, start the clock. I think you're doomed.
King is very, very resolute on that part.
Shout out to Specials A. Richardson said, what is this? Hey, I appreciate you tuning in. We are one of the shows here at WTF Nation Radio that we partner with. This is the King M.E show, and we do a relationship live stream in which we share our thoughts on relationships and things like that. We bring the viewers in and we bring that type of programming to you. WTF Nation Radio offers other things that you might be used to seeing, like the Monday edition with Ice, Pop Culture Warrior on Tuesdays, the Sports Bar on Wednesdays, the Thursday edition on Thursdays, and Weekend Co-ops and Friday FTX on Fridays and Saturdays. So if this is your jam, thanks for tuning in. If it's not your jam, there are other programs on WTF Nation Radio that you can certainly tune into. And I give you a salute as an Air Force veteran and say thank you for popping in.
And one of the shows that you can always watch comes on Wednesday, the Sports Bar, also hosted by this handsome guy right here.
Yeah, you might see a familiar face on that show as well. Time said, King, first and foremost, I would like to say if this was a woman that said the same thing about her husband, they would say that the husband is cheating.
Yep.
And that that there's a problem that they already have. Yes. Yes. I mean, I wish my homeboy good luck.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can be fixed, but all parties involved has to be willing to do it. I also think that he has another 3 months before he's going to take matters into his own hands.
And I think it's sad. Like, I don't wish breakup on anyone, but I think it could all have been resolved. Like, understand, I'm not saying that it's resolvable now. I'm just saying 10 months ago, it could have been resolved with some communication. Somewhere along those 10 months, if you had just opened up, if you had just spoken, if she would have just shared what's going on, because it's obvious he shared. So I'm not saying he needed to share more, but if she would have shared what's going on, then it could have been resolved. But I will say that to him, if he's already at the point where he's saying that to you, his friend, he needs to have that conversation like, look, wife of mine, we're down to two solutions because two options. We're at a fork in the road. You don't want to be this level of intimate with me. So we're down to two things. Option number one is I cheat. Option number two, we get a divorce and it's not me cheating. But this option of absolutely not having my physical and sexual and emotional needs met, emotional being that you're not listening to me, it's not going to work anymore. He's got to lay down the laws that we're at a fork in the road. We go one or two ways.
Now, let's make a bit of a pivot here.
Sure.
What are some of the common things that occurs when people aren't listening? Like, what do you hear? Like, if I'm communicating to you and you're just sitting there waiting to talk and respond instead of listening to what I'm telling you, are there other examples like that that you can think of that are issues when you're hearing that people are having trouble communicating?
I think one of the things that I also hear is kind of accidentally what I just did, but with more intentionality, interrupting the other person when they're talking, because like you feel like, hey, I know what you're about to say. It's okay. Let me interrupt you and just jump in and just say it. So I do apologize because I did just do that. And I know that when we're on the show and we're live, it's a little bit different.
Yes.
But still warrants an apology. So I'm sorry, babe.
I did marriage counseling in my marriage, and one of the things that it was a tool that we were given kind of helped resolve that, interrupting with solutions, and then also the need to feel like you have to defend yourself mid-sentence because that person just said something that you just wholeheartedly disagree with. So you feel like you have to jump in and say something now to defend yourself. The therapist had this thing called the floor, and it was just a 3x3 square that was called the floor. And the person that was speaking, if they had the floor, so I'm going to pretend like this thing right here is the floor. Whoever was holding the floor was the only person that was allowed to speak.
Okay.
And then when you were done and you got what you needed to say out, you would say, I pass the floor to you. You would get the floor and say, I have the floor.
I have the floor.
And then get whatever it is, any rebuttal, anything that you wanted to say out and go like that. And that works really well when both parties are willing to do it. I'm just going to say that like that. It takes practice and it is not easy. But think about what I just said. It takes practice.
Yes.
And it's not easy. So if you're not doing those things and you have those communication breakdowns, you're walking the ladder to a failed relationship.
Okay.
And one of the other things that happens when you can tell that somebody's not listening is when you want to turn your feelings into a debate.
It's like this, it has to be like this whole back and forth argument that's going on over feelings and all of that. And that is the moment that you can definitely tell that the other person, they're not receiving. So one of the things you have to learn at a young age is that there's a difference between hearing and listening. Those who have the ability to hear have the ability to hear. So as long as you are of, the hearing variety and you can actually hear, you can hear things that are being said. That does not mean that you're listening. Listening means that you are quiet. You are paying attention. You are present without that interruption, and you are understanding what's being said without fixating or trying to fix something else that the other person is saying. And you offer a level of validation without agreement, which sounds crazy, but exactly,
Yeah,
like you just
you can validate what the person is saying and not agree with that, and that's okay.
Yeah,
that's totally fine.
And I think
that's hard to do.
It is hard to do. I was about to say that it's hard to do, and it's also hard for the person who's speaking to, if they're coming from a place of trauma, it's hard for them to understand that the other person is validating them if they're not agreeing with them.
I agree.
So, like, let's say, for instance, like we're talking and I'm saying something, and I know that this is something that has happened with us, where I'm saying something and I may feel like you're not validating me because you're not agreeing with me, but it's okay. You don't have to agree with everything that comes out of my mouth in order for you to validate what I'm saying or how I'm feeling.
May I speak on that real quick? I don't think I've ever told you this, and I hope you don't take it any kind of way, but hey, let's be hot here.
Let me validate his feelings.
Honest, open, and transparent. Shout out to the real precious. That's frustrating. When that happens, that can frustrate me. It's not always frustrating, but it is one of the quickest things to make me feel frustrated. And I hate feeling. I was just going to say,
did you just use a feel statement?
I hate feeling statements.
I feel.
Yes. Then it's like, I hear you, but you don't think that I agree or hear you, and then you get a perceived thing that you want to then take that off of, and I'm like, I can't win, and it's not about winning, but that's how it feels.
I love you so much. I'm gonna say this right here for everyone, because I've said it to him privately. I won't say anything to King here that I have not already said to him privately. The reason why I get to those points when we're talking or when I'm sharing something is because your standard response, especially if we're over the phone, your standard response when I can't see your body language is bet.
It is.
Or okay.
Okay.
What are you supposed to do with that? Like, what does that mean? What does bet mean? And like, imagine, because I'm long-winded, okay? I'm very, very long-winded. That's the thing about ADHD. Like, we can have dissertations as text messages. And when I'm sending something to King with like clearing my mind, it is very much a dissertation in that text message, right? So I'll send you this thing. I'll send you a 2,000-word essay, and you will respond back reading it. The little chat bubbles will pop up, and I'm like, oh, he about to really write something. And then BET period will come up, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, are you serious right now? Bro, I just gave you a 32-page document, dissertation, stamped, proved. I defended it and everything. And you gonna hit me back with one word?
Yes, but here's why.
But hold on. I don't feel validated in those moments. I'm like, my dude, like,
okay,
Did you hear how high?
Yeah, you did. You did go high pitch. But look, it's like, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because in the moment when I read it, you can tell that I've read it, right? So then, but if I don't have time to give a proper response, that's not really putting respect on the situation. So I'm just simply acknowledging that I've received it. I am twice acknowledging, A, because you saw me read it, and B, I want to acknowledge physically by putting bet or okay that I have read what you posted, and then when I can, I'll respond later.
So let me tell you the difference between men and women, right? when we started going live and we were fixing all of our technical issues, one of my friends was texting me something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it required a long explanation of text messages. And there was no way I was going to be able to give my attention to the show and to the messages that she sent. So I sent her a message. I said, I'll have to read these and respond after the show. She came back. She liked the message. That tells me that, like, when you say something like that, that's saying, I respect what you have sent, but I also respect your time. And I want you to know that I have, like, briefly seen it, but I haven't really processed it. And I'm going to holler at you later.
You know how you can shorten that up?
Bet. And I can't with you.
We had a couple of comments. Let me bring this up here. Specials A. Richardson said, once you start putting the D word out there, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Men tend to check out by that point. Men will put up with not being happy for a long time, but once he makes up his mind, it's a wrap. Mm-hmm. And I 100% agree with that. Why do you think, as not a man, sorry, you almost spit out your wallet, your water. Why do you think that men will put up with crap for the longest before actually doing something?
Because I think to an extent they feel obligated. Like the man is supposed to be the
That's
protector. The
That's
man
it.
is supposed to be the one who holds things together. Over generations, men have been taught that they're not supposed to express emotions. They're supposed to do things logically. So that man is waiting. He's using that logical side of his brain to process things, and he's giving grace after grace after grace after grace, and it just gets to a point where he can't take it anymore.
That's it. That right there summed it up perfectly. Thank you for being able to say that and acknowledge it as the XX.
The XX that I am.
Paul Bennett said, the one talking must, in all capitals, set the expectations of the listener. Do you want the listener solely to listen, or do you want validation or agreement? Speakers are not always honest. Let's sit right here on that nugget right there.
Okay.
The one talking must set the expectations. Mm-hmm. I agree with that 100%, and I don't do that, but reading it made me go, I should do that every single time. Now, I do it often with some other people, like I'll call CQ, and I'll be like, hey man, I just need to vent. Do you have a second? Notice I said, I just need to vent. So what that does is, that's told him, I don't need you to give me a solution or anything like that. I just need you to hear me on something, and then I'm good. You started doing that via text message when you do the thing where you said brain dump.
Yeah, I send a picture that says brain dump. It's a red picture, so it's like alert, and it has a dumpster truck, and it says brain dump underneath of it.
And then she'll send me a PhD list of things. But before she gave me that brain dump thing,
he used to say confused.
I used to be confused about, like, do I need to respond to this? Is there anything that I need to fix? Like, my man brain went into mode, and I'm like, okay, what's happening? Like, I have to do something.
Yeah.
So then we eventually got to the point to where we communicated that, hey, I'll be confused about what's expected of me when you hit me with 9 different things, and in the spaghetti of it all, it's interwoven, but I work better in pockets. So can we do something with this? Kind of paraphrasing how the conversation went. And that was
pretty like spot on.
And that was the solution that we came up with. But as Paul wrote that, I'm like, I need to be better, not just with myself, but with you and anybody that I communicate with, on setting that expectation at the beginning, getting an agreement, and then going into whatever it is that we're going to be communicating about. It sounds simple, but you need to practice it every single time, or you're going to have those communication breakdowns. Paul, thank you for highlighting that.
But here's the thing, to your credit, you do that.
Not every time.
You do it over the phone. Because you don't like talking on the phone, when you call someone, you do that. You set the expectation of like what you set the tone of how you want that conversation to go. Via text message is a different story. And that's your preferred mode of communication, which is the funny part because you do it over the phone. You'll always say, do you have a second or something like that. Like you'll set the tone when you were verbally conversing with someone on the phone.
Okay. Question to the viewers.
I love Paul. I love him.
Be honest. Do you listen to understand or do you listen to reply? I think my default growing up, even now, is I always listen to understand. And quite often, you will hear me say, I don't understand because I'm listening to try to understand. What about you?
I think it depends on the situation. It also depends on what I'm physically doing in the moment. I would like to say that in my heart of hearts, OMG, we got a pause.
We got a celebrity.
We got a celebrity.
I didn't want to stop you, but we got a celebrity.
No, we got a celebrity in the building. Free T is up in this piece. OMG.
If you thought you were going to sneak up in here, we see you.
OMG.
We love it when...
Like, pinch me. Is this real? Is this really happening? You really pinched me.
Yeah, you said pinch me.
I know, but I didn't think you would.
You communicated and I listened.
Thank you for listening.
If you think we was gonna let a celebrity pop in and not acknowledge her presence, you gotta be tripping.
Welcome, sis. Good to have you back.
Appreciate you tuning in. She said, if y'all don't stop,
we will when we see you more in person. Like we will, I promise. Kind of, sort of.
Where we at on timing?
Running low, but it is what it is. So again, it depends on what I'm doing. If you stop me while I'm doing something, I cannot promise you. I can actually give you more of my listening attention, listening to understand, than if I'm free and having the thing that I'm doing. It's weird, but sorry.
Okay. Paul Bennett said, definitely to reply. Why? Like, why is that your default mode when you're listening? I am genuinely curious. When you feel unheard for a long time, what can that turn into?
It turns into a form of isolation for me. So it'll make me want to pull away if I have to say something over and over again because it feels like you didn't hear me the first time I said it. It makes me pull away. It makes me emotionally pull away from you. And if I emotionally pull away from someone, then I physically pull away from them as well. And it makes me feel hurt. Rejection hits me a little bit different than it may hit other people. And it really is, it's just not a good feeling for me.
Okay.
What about you?
Seek validation elsewhere.
Ooh.
And that shouldn't be a surprise to you. That should not be a surprise to you. For me, if I feel unheard, feeling statements drive me nuts.
Aw, y'all pray for him. He doesn't like doing feeling statements.
But if I feel unheard for a long time, I will seek validation elsewhere. That is what occurred and was misinterpreted in my marriage. Okay. So there were some conversations that if you didn't zoom out and see the entire thing, they could have been wildly misinterpreted. And I'm like, looking back, I'm like, yeah, I get that. But I own my take in everything that had occurred, and it is what it is. That sounds like what my friend is. That's the next thing for him. So typically it is what you said. It can be seeking validation from elsewhere. It can look like emotional withdrawal, where you just check out, or you start to resent the other person. Like you are in a house with somebody who is the enemy, and you want to sit in that parking lot in your car every single time, puff that cigarette, listen to some the OJs or something, like right before you walk into the house, because you know that once you come in there, that old ball and chain,
oh goodness,
is gonna make you think about every decision and choice that you made in life, wondering how you got here.
I get that. I do want to focus on something really quickly. So you asked Paul why he said definitely to reply. And maybe it's because I know him, like I know why you asked, but when I saw that, I was like, oh, I know exactly what he's going to write. And he did. He followed up and he said that he's a natural problem solver. And in having met Paul and having had conversations with him, 1000% see that. However, I do have a question. And this is me asking to understand. Would most men say that they listen to reply because they're problem solvers? They fancy themselves problem solvers? Like, if in surveying men, do you believe that more men would say that they listen to reply because of the innate ability to their innate ability to problem solve and to think logically?
You know what, fellas? Sound off on that one. I've got my thoughts, but I'm curious what the fellas out there that are going to catch this on the replay would have for their input. And ladies too, y'all can comment, but like, don't. Let's see. We've talked about this. I don't think that people leave relationships because they're happy. I think that they ended up bouncing out because something feels invisible inside of them. Part of that, right? If you're got somebody that is showing you love and affection for what works for you, and they're listening, you don't just wake up and go, you know what? I don't want to be with this person anymore.
Right.
I can't think of a single time for anybody who I know in real life or other celebrity people that put their self out there where they go, I left a relationship because they were a good dude and I just couldn't take it anymore. I have heard of people saying that they've lied to themselves and they're like, you know, he's a good dude, they're this, that, and the third. But then if you let them talk long enough, they'll say the thing that they're eventually, they'll say the thing that they're not happy about. You just got to let them keep talking.
Right. Like
that's something.
I told you, I do not badmouth my exes. I do not. But if you talk to me long enough, you will hear why I left.
Well, I think truth is truth, and it's your truth. So it's not necessarily bad mouthing, but it is, here's the accounts of things as I saw them. And when those things occurred, it led to this. Now, for those of y'all who are new to me and Michelle, I've spoken to one of her exes. We had a very in-depth conversation about things.
She sent me a picture of his new baby.
Hey, salute to the either two-time father?
Three-time
Three-time
baby
father?
number 3.
Baby number 3. Salute to him. Me and him had a conversation. This was the only other person that you lived with?
Yeah.
Right? So the only other person that she lived with, and me and Michelle had chatted, and she said, you know, I think he'd be open to chatting with you. And in my opinion, he was very open and honest about everything, to include what he did and what he could have done better, and things that he learned from the relationship about himself. I straight up salute to him. I won't say his name out there like that out there, but we chatted. You will never know.
Dang it.
You will never know.
But you know he ain't telling nothing.
Nope. Bros, boom. All right. We have to get wrapping up here, and
we do.
We are going to wrap up with this.
You want to do like a 2-parter and continue next week?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a lot that goes into this.
There's a lot. Like, we had a whole lot of production notes to go through with this. So we'll do a part 2 next week. And Free T has to pull up because now we're throwing her name out there, so she has to come.
Let's see if we have any other comments to acknowledge before we close out the show. Checking out WTF Nation Radio.
Ooh, Pop Culture Warrior popped in
and said, great show. Hey, appreciate you for tuning in.
Thank you.
He has a show talking about all things pop culture tomorrow here on WTF Nation Radio. And Free T said, I'll catch the replay. I came in too late, but y'all deserve an award for y'all's consistency. Look, 3 years or so now.
It is. Oh my gosh.
We've only had 2 where we didn't go live because of obligations. We both have work and things and stuff that we do. But even then, we would do like a pre-record.
We would do a pre-record. There was literally only 1 week where we did not intentionally plan to not go live. Like, we stopped for holidays, and we stopped over the summer while we were traveling, and we had a whole break and reset and came back with a new season. But there was only one time where we meant to have an episode and didn't go live. Only one time in almost 3 years.
Okay, so we're going to continue with this next week, and
yes,
I'll make the announcement here. There's going to be something that you have to listen to for the entire show, and we're going to do a giveaway of.
Oh, that's what I meant to talk to you about.
Let's do an Amazon gift card.
Yes.
So if you want to win the Amazon gift card, come back and tune in next week.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to require you to be, because it's 2 parts, be there at the beginning and somewhat towards the end, so that we can acknowledge and figure out who's going to win the gift card.
And just so you know, if you are the winner of the gift card, we need your email address so that we can send you that gift card.
Yep. All right. Well, hey, this has been another live stream episode of the King and Me show. Hope y'all are staying warm out there. For those of y'all watching on WTF Nation Radio, stay tuned in, as Ice is going to be going live here in a couple of minutes on the aptly called Monday edition. And there's a lot to talk about going on with that. So from us to y'all, I'm King.
I'm Michelle.
And we out, y'all. Peace.
Love you, baby.
Love you. I need you to listen more.